March 13th, 1880, a nightclub in the old frontier of southern Brazil. The music is loud, people are dancing, everyone is having a good time, until he walks in, tall, handsome, impeccably dressed in a black suit, hair slicked back, a smile that could melt ice. The smell? Everyone remembers the smell. Sweet, intoxicating, impossible. Women stop mid-conversation. Men feel an instant jealousy they can't explain. He walks to the center of the dance floor, and he dances, like no human has ever danced before. His feet move so fast they blur. His body defies physics. Every step is perfection. The crowd forms a circle around him. Everyone is mesmerized, hypnotized. And then, someone looks down. His shoes, his perfect polished shoes. They're wrong, because underneath them aren't feet. They're hooves, goat hooves. The scream breaks the spell. People look closer. His hat comes off in the commotion, and there, on his head, horns, small, red, unmistakable. The devil had come to dance, and he wasn't alone, because this wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. For centuries, the people of the old Brazilian frontier, the Gauchos, have been haunted by something most people don't talk about. Not ghosts, not monsters, the devil himself, but not the devil you know from church, not the abstract concept of evil. This devil is real, physical, seductive. He appears in dance halls with goat hooves hidden in fancy shoes. He walks dusty roads as a handsome young mixed-race man with impossibly white teeth. He offers you a magical coin that multiplies forever, but the price is your soul trapped for 200 years in an enchanted cave. And worst of all, he looks like someone you'd trust. Tonight, we're going deep into 3 of the most terrifying legends from the old Brazilian frontier. 3 stories that aren't just folklore, they're warnings. Because in Gaucho culture, the devil isn't a metaphor. He's the garbage man of God, punishing bad Christians, feeding on vice, appearing in uncomfortable details of daily life. And people are so afraid of him that they refuse to even say his name, because saying devil 3 times might make him appear. They call him O Coisa Ruim, the bad thing, O Tinhoso, the dark one, O Capeta, the horned one, anything but his real name. So turn off the lights, lock your doors, and whatever you do, don't say his name out loud, because what you're about to hear happened, and it's still happening. Welcome to the frontier, where the devil walks among us. Hey everyone, welcome back to another journey into the darkest corners of South American folklore. Today, we're heading to Rio Grande do Sul, the southernmost state of Brazil, where the Gaucho culture has kept some of the most disturbing devil legends alive for over 300 years. And I'm not talking about vague, scary stories. I'm talking about documented encounters, specific locations, names, dates, stories so deeply embedded in the culture that people still avoid certain places, still follow certain rituals, still refuse to say his name. We're covering 3 legends: the devil at the nightclub, the 1980s encounter that terrified an entire city; the Salamanca do Jarau, the cave where the devil trades your soul for gold; and the highway demon, why certain roads belong to him. Each one will reveal how the devil operates in Gaucho folklore. And trust me, by the end, you'll understand why these people are so careful. So grab your mate tea, settle in, and let's begin. Because this isn't just history, it's happening now. Let's start with the most famous story, the one that happened in living memory. Passo Fundo, Rio Grande do Sul. 1980s. The nightclub scene is booming. Young people flood the dance halls every weekend. Music, lights, freedom. And then, he appears. Multiple nightclubs, multiple cities. Always the same description. A man in his late 20s, extremely attractive, designer suit, expensive cologne, confidence that radiates across the room. He doesn't talk to the bouncers, he just walks in like he owns the place. And when he hits the dance floor, perfection. Every rhythm, every style, samba, foro, disco, rock. He masters them all instantly. Women line up to dance with him. Men watch in envy and confusion. But then someone notices. His shoes. They look expensive, polished. But when he spins, when he really moves, you can hear them. Hooves on the wooden floor. One woman swears she saw it clearly. She was dancing close to him. She looked down. And for just a split second, she saw goat hooves where his feet should be. She screamed. He smiled. And then he was gone. Just vanished into the crowd, disappeared into the bathroom and never came out. People who went in after him found nothing, just the smell of sulfur and the faint sound of laughter. Now here's where it gets interesting. This didn't happen once. It happened repeatedly throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Different cities, Paso Fundo, Caxias do Sul, Porto Alegre. Different nightclubs, Casablanca, Barcelona, countless others, but always the same pattern. Handsome man, perfect dancer, mysterious arrival. Goat hooves revealed, vanishes with smell of sulfur. In 1993, a nightclub in São José dos Campos had such a severe encounter that it made national news. Friday the 13th. Full moon. A man in a black suit won a dance competition. When he took off his hat to celebrate, horns. 2 small horns on his head. The place erupted in chaos. People trampled each other trying to escape. The man ran to the bathroom. Security broke down the door minutes later. Empty, just scorch marks on the floor. And that smell. Always that smell. But here's what makes this truly terrifying. In Gaucho folklore, this isn't random. The devil appears in places of vice, nightclubs, bars, anywhere people indulge in excess. He's not there to punish, not yet. He's there to recruit, to seduce, to tempt, to make deals. And according to the old stories, he's particularly attracted to 3 things. Beautiful women to seduce and corrupt, prideful men to humiliate and claim, and anyone who calls his name intentionally or by accident. And this is why gauchos have a rule. Never say diabo 3 times, because after the 3rd time, he has to appear. It's not a choice. It's a summons. And when he appears, he always asks the same question. Did you call me? If you say yes, you've just made a deal you can't break. If you say no, he knows you're lying. And liars belong to him anyway. The nightclub appearances are his modern hunting ground, but they're just the surface. Because deep in the old frontier, in the caves and hills of the borderlands, he's been waiting much, much longer. Let's go back, way back, to the time of the Jesuit missions, the 1700s, colonial Brazil, Cerro do Jarau, Quaraí, Rio Grande do Sul. A massive rock formation rises from the flat plains like a scar on the earth. The indigenous people, the Charrua and Minuano, call it sacred and forbidden, because inside, there's a cave, the Salamanca. And in that cave lives something ancient, something that predates Christianity, something that even the devil fears, or is. The legend goes like this. A Moorish princess from Salamanca, Spain, a place famous for underground caves where they taught black magic in medieval times, fled the fall of the last Arab kingdoms. She was transformed by Anhangapitan, the red devil of indigenous mythology, into a lizard with a glowing ruby on her head instead of a face. Teiniaguá, half woman, half reptile, all temptation. She was condemned to guard a cave full of treasures, gold, jewels, magical artifacts. But she was also lonely, trapped, waiting for someone brave enough, or foolish enough, to find her. And then a sacristan from the nearby Jesuit mission heard the legend. Young, curious, greedy. One night he went to the lagoon at the base of Cerro do Jarau. The water began to boil, glow, bubble, and from the depths she emerged, a glowing lizard with a ruby head, mesmerizing, hypnotic. He captured her in a horn and took her back to his room. That night, when he opened the horn, she transformed into the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. Long black hair, olive skin, eyes that held centuries of knowledge and sorrow. She asked for wine. He stole it from the priest's altar. She asked for honey. He gave her everything she wanted. And night after night she visited him. They fell in love. But the priests noticed the missing wine, the strange sounds, the intoxicating smell. They broke into his room and found them together. The sacristan was sentenced to death, but Teiniaguá wouldn't let him die. On the day of execution, with the entire village watching, the ground split open, fire erupted, smoke filled the air, thunder shook the sky, and Teiniaguá, in her true form, burst through the earth, grabbed the sacristan, and dragged him deep underground, to the Salamanca do Jarau, where they've been trapped ever since, for over 200 years. But here's the twist. They're not dead. They're waiting for someone to break the curse. And to break it, you have to pass 7 impossible tests. Walk through a field of razor-sharp blades. Face 4 starving jaguars. Walk through a hall of burning skeletons. Survive walls of living fire. Resist the venom of a pit viper. Refuse the seduction of beautiful women. Ignore the mockery of demonic dwarfs. If you pass all 7, you meet the old sacristan. He offers you a magical gold coin, 1 coin, that multiplies forever. You can buy anything, everything, instant wealth. But there's a price, because everyone who takes the coin is eventually accused of making a pact with the devil. They become isolated, feared, rejected, and eventually they return to the cave to give back the coin. And when they do, the curse breaks. The lovers are freed, and they emerge as a young couple again. Some say they're the ancestors of the first true Gauchos, the mixed indigenous European Moorish people of the frontier. But most people never make it to the 7th test, because the Salamanca doesn't want to be found by the greedy, it wants to be found by the brave, and bravery is much rarer than greed. Still think the devil is just a metaphor? Let's talk about the highways, modern day, right now, today. There are roads in Rio Grande do Sul that people avoid, not because they're dangerous, not because of bad pavement or crime, because they belong to him. Between the cities of Soledad and Paso Fundo, there's a stretch of highway. Beautiful countryside, rolling hills, nothing unusual, except for the accidents. Fatal accidents, dozens of them, year after year, same spots, no mechanical failure, no drunk driving, no explanation, just death. And then, the story started. A bus driver, late at night, almost empty bus. 2 passengers in front discussing the accidents on this very road. They're going to put a federal police checkpoint here soon, one says. That should stop it. In the back of the bus, a young man laughs. Mixed race, curly hair, impossibly white teeth, well-dressed. The driver looks in the mirror. He doesn't remember this passenger getting on. They stop at a roadside restaurant. The 2 passengers get out. The young man walks past them, smiling, and says, "The police won't help. This road is mine." And then he's gone. Just vanishes into the darkness. The driver asks the restaurant owner, "Did you see where that guy went?" The owner looks confused. "What guy? You were the only ones here." This isn't an isolated story. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, bus drivers, all across Rio Grande do Sul, they report the same passenger, appears without being noticed, handsome, well-dressed, confident, makes cryptic comments about his roads, vanishes without a trace, leaves the smell of sulfur, and here's what makes it absolutely terrifying. He tells the truth. The roads he claims, the accidents don't stop, checkpoints don't help, better lighting doesn't help, nothing helps. Because according to Gaucho belief, the devil owns certain places. Crossroads, especially crossroads, dangerous curves, long empty stretches, places where you're alone, vulnerable, desperate. And this is where it gets really dark. Because the devil in Gaucho folklore isn't just a trickster or tempter. He's a dealer. He makes pacts, exchanges, bargains. You want something? He'll give it to you. Money, love, success, power. But the price is always the same, your soul. And the contract is binding. No lawyer can break it. No prayer can undo it. The only way out? Complete the impossible task he sets for you. Which brings us back to the Salamanca, back to the 7 tests. Because those tests aren't just random challenges. They're designed to break you, to make you quit, to make you choose the easy path, the coin, the wealth, the deal. And this is why gauchos are so careful, why they don't say his name, why they avoid certain roads at night, why they leave offerings at crossroads, why old women cross themselves when passing cemeteries, why men touch their belt buckles made of silver, protection against evil, when they feel watched. Because in the old frontier, the devil isn't a distant concept. He's your neighbor, your dance partner, your passenger. He's beautiful, charming, helpful, until he's not. And by then, it's too late. So what's the truth? Is the devil really walking the nightclubs of southern Brazil? Is there really an enchanted cave full of gold and trapped lovers? Do certain highways belong to supernatural forces? Maybe, maybe not. But here's what is true. For over 300 years, the Gaucho people have maintained these stories with obsessive detail. They don't tell them for fun. They don't tell them to scare children. They tell them as warnings. Because in frontier culture, isolated, dangerous, lawless, the devil represented real threats, seduction leading to ruin, greed destroying families, pride causing downfall, vice creating vulnerability. He's social control. He's consequence. He's the price of bad choices. But the people who've seen him, who swear they've danced with him, ridden with him, heard his offer, they don't talk about metaphor. They talk about reality. So here's my advice. If you ever visit Rio Grande do Sul, don't say his name 3 times. Don't drive the Soledad Passo Fundo highway at night. Don't try to find the Salamanca do Jarau. And if a handsome stranger asks you to dance, look at his feet first. If you survived this journey into Brazilian folklore, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share this with someone brave enough to handle the truth. Next video, the forest that eats people. The Amazon's darkest secret. Until then, don't call his name.